If you would please join me in staring at Mr. Gearhart and the nation's flag and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 12th school board meeting. We will begin with building reports. Yeah, it's building reports and students.
Mrs. Garvin is already here.
Hello, welcome. Come on in. If you have not been here before, we start with, so the saying is the best for last? No, not here. We save the best for the beginning, which is getting to talk to our building leaders and hearing about our fabulous students of the month and building reports if they want to share with that. And here's what happens. When the student is up here and honored, and it's wonderful, and we listen, then I will take a photo of the student with their building principal or whoever here is representing their building tonight, and then the next leader will go up. At the end, if you guys would like to take pictures of your children with family members, whatever, we're going to take about 5 minutes after everyone's done, and we can do that as well. We are going to start with today we're going to start with the athletes of the month. We're doing a little twist for those of you who've been here. We're kind of keeping you on your toes. So we're going to start with Mr. Carr.
Good evening. I'm in place of Mr. Garrett Daniel, for the record, doing his job. Just might repeat that to him later. We'll be fine. We will start with Miss Fengman, our cheerleading coach, which I saw her come in. And one of our athletes that we're going to recognize is Miss Kadra Hammer. And Miss Fengman is going to come up and tell us a little bit about Kadra.
Hello, I am Miss Fengman. I've been our cheerleading coach for 9 years now, and Kadra is one of our athletes of the month. Kadra truly embodies the we before me attitude, putting the good of the whole team above her desire to be in the biggest stunts or the center of the formation, gleaning all of the attention. She works hard to improve her skills, but also help her teammates in any way that she can. You might not recognize her, as she's not atop of any pyramid, but she is underneath it, making the foundation as solid as possible. The top girl never hits the ground if Kadra can help it. She is not afraid to quite literally dive underneath a child to save a teammate. Kadra Hammer has been nominated for the NCAA All-American for 3 years in a row, and has been awarded the BGHS Sportsmanship Award. Kadra is an asset to this team that is immeasurable, and she will be dearly, dearly missed. We love you very much, Kadra. Oh, perfect. We'll get a plaque later.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fagman. Thank you, Kadra. And then our next student athlete that we're going to recognize, I'd like to welcome Ms. Caitlin Bowser, our head swim coach, as well as Lucas Blocker. So if you guys want to come on up.
Hi, my name's Caitlin. I am the head swim coach here, my first year. I did graduate here, so super excited to be back. This is Lucas Blocker. He is in his first year on our swim team, and he joined us a little bit later. He came to our very first meet and decided to be a timer for us, and that same day decided he wanted to join the team. The next day he came to practice and he dove in, and he was a complete natural. He looked like he had been swimming his entire life. I nominated Lucas because he has shown so much growth and has proven time and time again that he is so dedicated to this sport and his team. He is always willing to try something new, and during his first year tried one of the hardest events in the high school swimming lineup, the 200 IM. And we are super excited to have him on the team and are excited to see where he goes from here. So, congratulations.
jump right into Beech Grove High School Student of the Month, and our Student of the Month is Miss Maddie Thompson. So I thought I saw her. Oh, there you are. Okay. So again, and I've said a few times, the process that we use at the high school is that we send the nomination form to nearly 60 staff members, and each staff member alone gets the opportunity to nominate one student. And Maddie was nominated by 4 teachers this round, so that was independent. They didn't have some big meeting and conspire, so it's really cool when we see kids receive multiple nominations from multiple teachers in the course of a month. And just a few things that Maddie's teachers have said about her. Maddie has been a bright spot in world history in both semesters. Maddie leads by example. She quietly takes care of her business and does so with a positive attitude. Maddie would never ask for recognition because she just does what she knows right because it's the right thing. And this is why it makes so much sense that I'm nominating her for Student of the Month. So good job. Another one of Maddie's teachers said, Maddie's an excellent student in class. She always does what is asked of her and takes it upon herself to clean up extra areas when she doesn't have to or isn't even asked. She will often offer help in many different ways to her classmates. She always gets her work done and never complains. She's very mature, doesn't miss school, and is never tardy to class. Maddie deserves Student of the Month. If I had 150 students just like Maddie, it would be awesome. Good job, Maddie.
Good evening, everyone. Ryan Morgan, I'm the middle school principal, and I am proud to announce 2 Students of the Month. First, Lily Lozano. We didn't get to recognize Lily at the last board meeting because she was off competing in wrestling, and I believe she won that match as well. So it was well worth the wait here. So Lily's teacher said that she has the ability to brighten a room, and that is a precious gift. The desire to help others is a chosen path. The will to succeed is a focused effort. These qualities are rare in adults, let alone middle school students. Lily Lozano embodies these traits. Her dedication, drive, determination, and compassion make her shine. She is always willing to help, always willing to volunteer, always willing to smile, always willing to take a chance. Lily is a joy to teach. She is a student that every teacher dreams of working with in the classroom. She models all the traits of a true Hornet. Congratulations, Lily, and thank you. Sure.
Do a quick picture.
All right, our next nomination, Aylin Alexander. All right, so Mrs. Wright is here as well, and Miss Wright was proudly nominated you. And let me tell you, so I sent this out to our English and social studies teachers for 7th grade, and I'm not sure if Mrs. Wright has a notification on her phone, but I mean, it was immediate that she nominated Aylin, and all of her teachers agreed. So Mrs. Wright wrote, "It is with great pride and joy we celebrate the accomplishments of one of our brightest stars, Aylin Alexander, an avid reader, a humble classmate, a light for all to see. Daily I find myself in awe of her natural intelligence, dedication, and leadership. She embodies the essence of excellence we strive to instill in our students here at the middle school. Aylin's journey through 7th grade has been nothing short of inspiring. Her commitment to academic excellence is unparalleled. She consistently exceeds expectations with her determination and desire to learn. Beyond her academic progress, she demonstrates a kindness and compassion that truly sets her apart. Aylin leads by example and pushes others to reach for success alongside her. She is always willing to lend a helping hand, whether it's assisting a peer in need or volunteering to write a paper for the VFW last fall. Aylin, your dedication, perseverance, and outstanding character have not gone have not gone unnoticed. As our Student of the Month, you've not only earned our admiration and respect, but also our gratitude for enriching our school with your presence. Congratulations on your well-deserved recognition. We anticipate your future to be filled with success, fulfillment, and endless opportunities to make a positive impact on the world around you. We're immensely proud. Thank you, Halen.
Good evening. I'm Gina Fleming, principal of South Grove Intermediate. I am thrilled to welcome here to the podium Mackenzie Chadwick as our Student of the Month. Mackenzie Mack is a natural-born leader among her classmates, a loyal friend, and a hard worker. She puts extensive effort into completing her assignments and asks thoughtful questions on tasks she may not always understand as well. She also offers to help her peers when she sees they are struggling with schoolwork. Mac is incredibly patient with adults and her classmates. She has a great sense of humor and seems to always be laughing, appropriately, of course. We love Mac and are so glad to have her as a member of our class and South Grove family. That comes from both Mrs. Tressler and Ms. Hawkins. Mr. Duffy, the wellness teacher who actually has not had the privilege of having Mac this year, says, while I haven't had the pleasure of having Mac in my classroom this year, I can say with confidence that Mac is an extraordinary student. She is always doing the right thing, even if no one is watching, and is always so friendly to her peers in the hallway. When I taught her in 4th and 5th grade, she was a regular participant in class and is a student I could always count on to step up and be a leader. This is a much-deserved award, and I can't wait to have her in wellness class this year. Mrs. Hudson, who teaches page turners for 6th graders, says, I love having Mackenzie in page turners. She is always kind to others, participates in class, and is willing to share her thoughts. She is welcoming and encouraging to her peers and is always respectful to others. I can't wait to see all the wonderful things she will accomplish in the future. And Mrs. Rolls, our art teacher, adds, Mackenzie is a wonderful student, always a hard worker, a good friend to others, and willing to lend a hand. This amazing student has great ideas and works hard to complete assignments. Mackenzie is a fun, creative scholar at South Grove. And I learned last evening that she is also a very proficient roller skater. Congratulations. Here, Mackenzie.
Good evening. Stephanie Cotter, principal at Central Elementary School. Please join me in welcoming Carter Buttram, our Student of the Month. This is Carter. Carter's a 3rd grader at Central, and he was nominated by 2 staff members, his homeroom teacher, Mrs. Bowden, and his math interventionist, Miss Lawson, who thankfully joined us today. Thanks, Miss Lawson. Miss Bowden said, Carter is a wonderful student that is always showing respectful and responsible behavior. He has done a great job of participating in class, keeping our classroom clean, and always making sure to include others at recess. He is truly a leader and a friend to all in our class. Mrs. Stark, his reading teacher, said, Yay! So well deserved. Carter is consistently kind and thoughtful. He is an excellent example to all of us of being respectful and responsible. Carter puts forth a strong effort and is willing to use feedback to improve his work. He is always a bright light in our class, and we can always count on him. Mr. J, our PE teacher, said, Carter is an amazing and kind-hearted kiddo, always trying his personal best and showing respect and responsibility. Carter should be proud of himself. Ms. Lawson said, this is a well-deserved honor. I am lucky to have Carter in a 3rd grade math group this semester. He comes to my room each day with a smile on his face, a good attitude, and ready to learn. Carter works hard and doesn't give up. He's also a friend to his peers. I've also heard he's a pretty good baseball player. Yeah? Last month, I even talked Carter into staying after school for a little, with me for a little bit for extra practice with subtraction. We played a quick math game with a special dice and a dry erase board, and he quickly mastered regrouping. Carter, I'm super proud of you. Keep working hard. And then last but not least, Mrs. Tao, who is not his teacher, but you'll get it in a second, says, as a teacher and a proud aunt, I love getting to see both sides of Carter. All the great things the teachers have said are true, and he has a wild and crazy side at home. Proud to call him my nephew. Congratulations, Carter. We're super proud of you.
I think you can pick out the coolest people in the room right now. We'll get there. There's a reason. I'd like to invite up birthday boy, student of the month for Hornet Park, Logan Robertson. Now, part of the best thing about a birthday is that you sometimes get a special birthday treat, right? Well, a little birdie told me that your favorite Little Debbie was a strawberry shortcake roll. So we've got a bag. When it's your birthday, it's fun to bring them for your friends. So a bag of strawberry rolls are going to come around if you want one. It's Little Debbie's. I think there's gluten. Beware. But we wanted you to have that treat, and we thought your friends could have some with us today, too. Okay? I'm going to read some sweet words about... Can we end on a happy birthday? Maybe? You want to? We're going to sing to you. Okay, let's brag and then we'll sing. Oh, that's perfect, Dr. Hammock. Thank you. Mrs. Corbin said Logan Robertson is a very special young man. She had the privilege of having him in kindergarten last year. No matter what was going on in life, he came to school every day with a smile on his face and always did his very best. He's a sweet and respectful boy, and I foresee him becoming an incredible adult. Mrs. Wack says, oh, sweet Logan, what a true gem and role model this young man is. His love for learning is apparent by just stepping into the room. She's been lucky enough to get to work periodically off and on in this school year in Mrs. Doran's class and has had the opportunity to see Logan's light shine in many ways. He's very sharp. He's a sharp little cookie, she says, who loves to share his knowledge through participation in class. It's a true blessing that he really encourages others who may feel less confident and comfortable in sharing to participate as well. He's a student I know that she can go to for anything, especially to support or cheer on a classmate. He's an all-around charm. Mrs. Doran, his teacher, was regretfully unable to come tonight. She has a little one who wasn't feeling well. But she says Logan is an amazing example of a hornet, always respectful and responsible in the classroom and a great friend. His smile lights up the classroom and makes our classroom a better place to be each day. Then a few of his friends chimed in. Wade said Logan is always nice to me and plays with me. Jonathan says that's my best friend. And Lucas says Logan is a good friend, always nice, and he's nice to talk to about your feelings. Oh. And then Miss Schweitzer said, one thing I most admire about Logan is how thoughtful he is. He's always willing to lend a hand or share, and he makes the most of his situation no matter who he is sitting by or what he is working on. Logan is a sweet and creative child, and I always look forward to his time in art class. And Mrs. Reed's going to bring it home with closing and saying that Logan is just an amazing, resilient, strong little guy, and we are lucky to have him at Hornet Park. Happy birthday, Logan, and congratulations. Can we sing to you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Logan. Happy birthday to you.
to that hornet. If you didn't get a strawberry roll, let me know, and I can bring you some more, okay?
Friends, I would just like to congratulate all of our students of the month. We have one final award that we would like to give this evening, and then you are all welcome to go. But we thought that you would really appreciate seeing this special award be presented to our board. Mr. Morgan. It's a surprise for our board.
All right, well, I don't have a script for this one, so I apologize. So I might ramble on here a little bit, but we had the opportunity to go to the NIET conference over last week, and we were presented with the School Promise Award, and a lot of hard work went into that. So I'd like for Mrs. Keller to come up, if she wouldn't mind. So the middle school kind of took on this challenge along with all of our schools of providing professional development, and Mrs. Keller has done an amazing job with that and with our staff. I can tell you that I'm a pretty early riser. I often get to school probably about 7:15. We don't start until about 8:50, and Mrs. Keller beats me there every day. So she puts in a lot of time, a lot of work, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate all the work that you've done for us, our staff, and our students. So thank you very much, Kathy. To go along with that, the award really kind of signifies all of the hard work of all of our schools. When we think about Hornet Park and Central and South Grove and the high school, it really is an award for the entire district. So I'm just very thankful and blessed to be a part of such a great community, a learning community, and then the community of Beech Grove. I sit here and I look around and I think about Mr. Gearhart and all the time that he has put in at the middle school and the foundation that he laid there. I'm grateful for Dr. Hammock and all of the work that she's done. Mrs. Story over there has been coaching us for the last 8-9 years. And I'm just so grateful for everybody in this room. So thank you all for your support and all the effort that you guys put into our community. So thank you. Pass it around.
We went this way. Good. Thank you.
It's true. I absolutely. Thank you, Mary. The keyword was almost. Very true. It did happen. I'm going to turn purple. Very good. Well, we'd really like to thank you all for being here this evening. Well, this is an opportunity where if you do not plan on joining us for the rest of the meeting, but you are more than welcome to do so, we invite our families to take a final picture, and then we're going to transition into the business portion of our meeting. Thank you all for being here tonight, and congratulations.
Hear that?
No, you take your time. Of Beech Grove City Schools. I recognize that everyone here tonight knows that, but sometimes there are folks who join us online, and we are super grateful for that. And tonight, though the board has already been presented with this content, what we wanted to do is in our regular meeting, so during our work session last time we got together, we introduced a concept, a proposal, to orient the board to a concept of a reorganization of grade levels here in the district, specifically grades 2 through 6. And there are several reasons behind that proposal. Wanted to talk to you all about that this evening, and then certainly if there were any questions that might be on your mind, we can answer those tonight. As well, we have an additional opportunity for community members to engage in this proposal this Thursday. So just want to invite folks, 5:30 on Thursday. We will invite anyone who is interested in attending South Grove Intermediate School for some cookies and some refreshments. And so we can do just this work with our community on Thursday evening. Introduce, orient to the concept, talk about the reasons why, and then we're going to have an opportunity for feedback. In a small group setting, we'll have different district leaders and building leaders who will be sitting at tables to get feedback from community members on questions and on just general feedback regarding this proposal. And then we'll take all of that information into consideration as we plan for a really strategic execution of this plan. So would ask for the board's approval of the plan next month at our April meeting, and then we'll be ready to go for next school year. So this proposal here, we do believe this is all part of the work that we've done with our mission and vision, and it's just a really important reminder that in Beech Grove City Schools, we do all things together, and we do all things with love. And this plan is fundamentally, profoundly related to one thing, and that is our students. This is a plan that we believe will positively impact the student achievement of students that are in grades 2 through 6, as well as their well-being. And we'll kind of talk about that here in just a bit. So it's been introduced. We actually talked to our community just last week, as well as our friends at Central and at South Grove, that we would like to reconsider our grade level organization at Central and at South Grove for next school year. So at Hornet Park, there will be no changes. We will continue to serve our preschool, kindergarten, and first grade students at Hornet Park. And the change kind of happens here when we're looking at students in grades 2 through 6. So we will take the current South Grove Intermediate School, and we will change that building to now serve 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders. And then we would call that building South Grove Elementary School, which it takes a minute to get that to stick in your brain because we've been so hardwired for so long. But it will ultimately start to sort of have a little swing of things there. For South Grove, we would move from South Grove serving 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students to now having students in 5th and 6th grade be served at Central, and we would call that building Central Intermediate School. Our middle school would have no change. Our high school would have no change as well. Now we kind of want to talk to you about the benefits and really why this reorganization, which there is no question, this reorganization is going to take a lot of work, it's going to take a lot of effort, and it's just going to take a lot of energy when it comes to our human capital in their execution of this reorganization. But we genuinely believe that when we keep our students at the forefront of our decision making, that everything else will fall into play. We've got extraordinary leaders, building leaders, district leaders, and our team of educators who are going to help to make this happen. So you might have noticed, and then ultimately it has now been approved and I believe is on the governor's desk for his signing. Senate Bill 1 was a Senate that was under consideration by the General Assembly, specifically related to the IREAD 3 examination and the implications for the IREAD 3 assessment. So what has happened as a result of this legislation is that there are more implications for required retention of 3rd graders as a result of the IREAD 3 assessment, and there are multiple layers of requirements that a school district needs to have in place for 3rd graders who do not pass there need to be specific interventions that are in place for third grade students as well as fourth grade students. So what we needed to have happen is a building that would allow for third and fourth grade students to be in the same space, so that we could provide third grade remediation intervention for students who might have moved on to fourth grade because of a good cause exemption. And good cause exemptions are the Department of Education's language for students who might have an IEP, so students who might qualify for special education services, as well as students who are multilingual, students who English is not necessarily their primary language. So there are exemptions that are in place for students who don't pass IREAD 3, but there are requirements now in place. Even if you don't pass IREAD 3 with a good cause exemption, you need to have extra layers of intervention. And so we really felt like it was critically important for us to have our third and fourth grade students together for that better acceleration opportunity as well as retention and intervention opportunity. We love the concept because this means there are fewer transitions for students at lower grade levels. So right now, if you're a student who is in preschool, K, and 1 with us, that's 3 sections at one building. And then if you were to move to Central, you're just there for 2 years as it stands now. What we love about this is that now, when you are second, third, fourth grade, you're in one building and you have less transition at a lower age level. And we know that that's just really good and really important for kids as far as developmentally appropriate. We also love the idea that our grade 4 students will now be kept with younger peers. And that just slows exposure to those 5th and 6th grade behaviors that are supernatural, right? Any 5th and 6th grader is going to begin to kind of express their own autonomy. I'm a former 6th grade teacher. I love 5th and 6th grade behaviors. I think they're crazy and they're wonderful. But we want to make sure that we have buildings that are developmentally aligned. And so having our 4th grade students paired with 2nd and 3rd slows exposure to some of those more grown up or adolescent, I guess better to say, behaviors that are happening in 5th and 6th grade. Then this also allows for us to position Central, our new intermediate school, as a true intermediate school. And we can double down on the 5th and 6th grade concept and really focus on accountability, ownership, and joy. When I think about accountability, ownership, and joy, I think of the middle school and all the success that we just celebrated a national award for the middle school that Mr. Morgan is always so kind to say stands on the shoulders of all of the other buildings here in our district. This is a way for us to just double down on this intermediate concept. What we've had to do at South Grove is have kind of a 4th grade model and then a 5th and 6th grade model, and this eliminates that, so we can really position that 5th and 6th grade building as a true intermediate space. We love that there is walkable proximity for Central Intermediate School close to Beech Grove Middle School, and we do believe and we expect and we're excited about, Mr. Morgan's very excited about this, really expanding opportunities for our 6th graders to be more engaged in after-school clubs and activities, not just athletics, but things like robotics. I know a robotics coach who would really like to have extra students on his team. If you guys didn't know, we have one of the cutest robotics coaches in the state of Indiana, and he happens to be my husband. So, yeah, we love it. It's the first time I can ever say and not be in trouble that one of our coaches is really cute. Last but not least, and this is profound, and this is something that we are so excited about. As you all know and have supported, thank you. We have been slowly, every year, trying to add back an essential skills classroom to each one of our buildings, and we're almost there. This plan will allow for us now to have an essential skills classroom in every one of our school buildings, where we are now able to service students who at one time had to go to Franklin Township or to Rise Learning Center to access the level of service that they would need. So now we will have that available in every one of our buildings. This is wonderful for just kids in general. It's great for our peer models to have access to students who have essential skills needs. And it's phenomenal for kids with essential skills to have access to typical peers. So this is just something that we couldn't be more excited about. So just some of the benefits here. There are challenges. And I want to talk to you about the challenges because we don't want to just be Pollyanna about this transition. There's a lot of work that has to happen for this transition to happen. But again, when we make decisions that are in the best interest of students, everyone wins. So there are just logistics and costs with moving grades 2 and 3 and grades 5 and 6, full stop. We are going to move 2nd and 3rd grade to a new building, and we're going to move 5th and 6th grade to the other building. So that is going to take a logistical feat in order to pull off. But we have the best director of operations in all the land, and Mr. Gerhardt, and he's already working on how we're going to manage a move like that. We need a playground apparatus at South Grove, and that was a primary concern for us. And the board, in our work session, really communicated to us that you wanted to maintain that central playground on that corner for all of our patrons at the library and just other individuals who come to that space with the football field, etc. It's a really community space. So we were a little concerned because our first blush at looking at a playground apparatus was extraordinarily expensive, too expensive for us to manage. And so we were trying to solve for that. And then the best director of operations in all the land made a number of phone calls and engagements, and actually has found that there is a playground group that Dr. Kaiser and Dr. Keeley once upon a time had engaged, can you believe this, to just dream of what a playground would look like at South Grove. And they actually designed a playground years ago as a potential. I know, it's like divine. And so the cost of the plans for what would be that playground are eliminated if this is the direction that we choose to go. And so all of a sudden, this playground apparatus became very expensive, very inexpensive as correlated to what we had initially been pitched. And it fundamentally aligns with the budget that we had ideated for a playground. It's like it all just sort of came to be. We're so excited about that. So the great news is that once we can really have the go-ahead to move forward, Mr. Gerhardt's going to get going on this, and we're going to have a beautiful playground at South Grove Elementary School for our kids to enjoy. We are the gym that presents at Central might result in what we would need for students to actually be bused to South Grove for after-school athletics. The gymnasium at South Grove is better. It's bigger. There are just more ability to do things in that space than the Central gym. But we just don't feel like that's a roadblock for anything because we can execute those plans to get students to where they need to be. And particularly since many of our 6th graders will probably want to be engaging in some of the opportunities at the middle school. Our current 2nd graders, this is one of the things that I hate for this 1 year. I just want to be very transparent with our parents and with our community that we don't like the fact that our current 2nd graders and our current 4th graders are only going to be in their building for 1 year, right? So they will actually be moving, the 2nd graders will be moving to South Grove, right, as a 3rd grader. They would have been going there anyway, right, ultimately, but a year early. And then you have your current 4th graders who are only at South Grove for 1 year because then they'll be going to Central Intermediate School for their 5th and 6th grade. So we hate that that's just like a 1 year space for those 2 grade levels, but once this plan is executed, this problem goes away. This is only a problem for this year. We have a very general timeline here. Right now in March, this is our board presentation and our public meeting. Just a couple days ago, we had meetings with Central and South Grove faculty and staff, went through this slide deck with them, and got initial questions and feedback. And then we have plans to be able to have some ongoing meetings happening with them as this transition would play out. We have our parent meeting with our parents and community at South Grove this Thursday. And then we're going to take the questions that have been asked in our meetings with Central and with South Grove, with when we actually have our community meeting on Thursday. We're going to produce an FAQ document. So just so people can see their questions being answered so that there is no sort of gray area as we embark on this transition. In April, after spring break, so of course spring break is the next couple of weeks, we'll offer ongoing meetings with Central and South Grove faculty and staff. We'll engage with our movers, so the individual companies that will actually be moving the buildings from one space to another. That's when we'll really work on ordering signage. We will need new signage for Central and for South Grove because they're going to be named different things, right? And so we'll have new signs out front. We'll have new signage on the actual building itself. And then we are going to arrange for South Grove and Central building walkthroughs. So when we have organized everything and we know where teachers are going to be residing next year, like their actual classroom space, the teachers have asked, and I think this is a wonderful idea, to have some time during cluster time where they can actually go to the other school and check out what their new space will look like. So we'll make sure that those building walkthroughs happen. In May, we're going to notify the Department of Education. So it could be in April. We would need to wait for your board meeting in April. If this is approved, then we will notify the Department of Education of these grade level changes, because then they approve that we have actually new buildings that are in place here in Beech Grove. It is not a process that we're concerned about as far as approval. It is a procedural step, but it is a step that has to be taken because these are new buildings in the eyes of DOE. So then we'll support packing of our classrooms and our building materials and equipment, and we will execute the move. We're hoping for that week right after school is out, but we'll need to work depending on what our movers are, their availability. In June, our custodial teams, just like any other summer, will prepare our classrooms for the next school year. The new signage would be installed. We will have our website updated to be that would inform the naming of our new buildings. And we'll update our logos with our graphic designer, and then that playground would likely be installed this summer in June. And then we were thinking in July we'll have a ribbon cutting at both buildings to celebrate the opening of these two new school buildings. And then of course we'll start school, because we start school in July. We will start school at the end of the month, and great things to come. So what my sincere expectation is that this time next year, I'll be presenting to you all about the extraordinary success that has happened as a result of this reorganization. My final slide, second to final slide, whoops. Just wanted you all to know, and this was a great question that the board asked last time that we were together. Mr. Gerhard has worked, again, best director of operations in all the land, has worked with our transportation department, who all praise to them. The team over at our transportation department have ensured that Hornet Park and South Grove times are exactly like they would be if it's Hornet Park and Central, so families are not needing to make any adjustments in their pickup and drop off. Central times, so Central Intermediate School times, would mirror South Grove's, so no changes there, and then everyone else would be the same. So it's really wonderful. There are no disruptions to transportation for families. It's exactly the same depending on your grade level, but for fourth grade. Okay, fourth grade would be the only one that would be a little different, because that would mirror the current central plan. So expenditures. And this is just what's so exciting, is that playground install is really sorting out to be exactly what we were initially sort of ideating is what we're expecting that playground install to be. So right now we're estimating a move of about $90,000, new signage at about $25,000, the playground install at South Grove of $100,000, and then some incidental furniture and equipment for invariably there will be a teacher that moves from one space to another who needs a different table, needs a different, we will just have some things. We'll try to fit with what we have here in the district, but we just expected that invariably there will be some needs with furniture and equipment. So that comes out to about $200,000 to $225,000, which is a lot. And you hear me talk all the time how our operations budget and our capital expense is where we hurt, and that's the truth. So we are sacrificing some projects by doing this work. And we would pay for this work with the issuance of the most recent bond that the board approved. And that is the only way that we would be able to fund something like this. We so believe in this plan that this investment, which at the front end is a lot, it's a lot, and we could use these dollars for other things. We so believe that this is the right thing to do for kids that there's just no question. It is an imperative that this is what we need to do. So we are excited about it. I am thrilled to share with you that I had really nice meetings with Central and South Grove team. we are just surrounded by the most extraordinary educators who all get it, that this is right for kids, right? Now, we might be stressed about the concept of moving my classroom and moving my space, and that is completely normal and natural, and we're going to lean into that to try to make this process as easy as possible for everyone involved. I'm so grateful for this team, that team, these people, for making the work to this point happen. And then we have a working group that is meeting weekly now, where each director, building leader, has some sort of operationalized action that they are responsible for, so that we can get to this end space and be super proud of where we are. So we're being strategic, intentional, and I promise you, by the time that we are here this time next year, I just think we're going to be so happy about this decision. So I would ask for your consideration of this proposal. I'd invite the community, come and see us on Thursday, and we can go through this again and answer questions at that time. Can I answer anything tonight?
You mentioned that certain projects may have to be sacrificed or delayed. Is there an accounting for which projects would have to be put on the back burner for this?
Yes. So Mr. Gerhardt has, sorry, once again, he's so great. He has a rolling capital projects list that is actually something that we visit about monthly. And on that capital projects list, this is a list of prioritized projects, sort of 1, 2, 3. 1, immediate need. 2, need it, but not yet. 3, need it, but it's gonna, we need to wait. And so effectively what this happens is that this moves the expense of this move to the priority 1 group, and then others are just going to need to wait.
We know that some teachers have been in their rooms for several years.
Yes.
And have we taken into account also the cost of, clearly some will need to be repainted, paint taken off of every wall, that, and holes and everything. Is that also included in our number, or will we need to add additional numbers for that too?
Yeah, so
I don't care, because we need to do this. It's just a question.
Absolutely. And that's where I think we really rely on our custodial and maintenance teams this summer. Our team they're just so skilled. We have not accounted for any sort of contracted service to come in to do that kind of work, but relying on Brent and our maintenance team, to kind of make some of those touch-ups happen, will very likely need to happen, right, as a result. So we want these spaces to be inviting and welcoming, all of those things. I would like to remind the board, and forgive me because I don't think we talked about this the last time that this was presented. When we look long-term for the ability for renovation, South Grove will be our next building that needs some serious attention. So I would hate to put a lot of resource into that space now, knowing that there might be this ability for a beautiful reno, like a Hornet Park kind of a situation. So it's in, kind of our more 5-year plan, for that work, but it's coming. And so
I just always think, fresh coat of paint.
Yep.
Makes everybody
it makes a big difference. Absolutely. Yes, it sure does.
I just want to make sure we capture the partnership with the library shared system.
Yes.
Because it's a contract.
Absolutely.
And we have to, and they're busy onboarding shared system schools through IPS. So if we're going to have to rework collections or routes or moving or anything like that, it needs to happen sooner than later. So we need to be assured that that's on the project plan someplace.
You bet. Yeah,
So-
we've actually, we've already talked
Okay,
about it.
just-
Yeah, thanks, Jill.
Just have to make sure, because that we have other partners that we're contacting, but we do not have the library on there. And I just need to make sure I advocate for those kids, because it's going to be a reissuance of library cards, depending on where you go. It's going to be training. It's a bigger thing than I think people realize.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. No, we appreciate your insight on that.
I was just going to ask, can we allow for some, the high school and middle school kids potentially to help with the pack and clean for their service hours?
Absolutely, yeah. They were a critical piece to the success of the Hornet Park. Quick transition. That happened. Yeah. Wrestlers and football players were real helpful. Yeah.
So I had the, I guess, benefit of being able to tour all the schools. Thank you all very much for inviting me to the
doing that.
schools. And something I noted is South Grove has a lot of support functions and a lot of resources for related arts and special education. And just, it seemed like you're going into another dimension, like, oh, I didn't know this space existed, and I went to this school before.
Yeah.
And then going to Central, it's much more sparse in terms of space. It's an older school. I was wondering, if there's specific plans or things that we have to be inventive on for related arts, like, for instance, a band room. I don't think we have one for Central, right? So we'd have to figure that out. So is there a plan in place? Do we have to develop that in the future?
Are we becoming best friends with the middle school?
We are. Yes, that's exactly. And I just had that conversation with Mr. Morgan yesterday, Mr. Downer. So this is very timely. We are in the ideation phase, so nothing has been sort of logistically executed yet. But what we are ideating at this point is kind of a dream of a music space. So keeping the current music room that is at Central as the music room for the students who will be served at Central that are 5th and 6th graders. And then using the band room space that is at the middle school for their band time. Walking across the street. Great question was raised, what do we do in inclement weather? These are the things that we will really need to hammer out to make sure that it is ideal. But using that band room space, which I hadn't realized, is only used for about half of a day anyway, they do have time to be able to access that space.
That's great. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Great ones, guys. Super. Then I look forward to community. Anyone who would like to join us on Thursday, 5:30 at South Grove to talk more. Thanks so much.
Mitzi.
No, I think the biggest thing that I want to talk about on my report is the community day. After spring break, I'm going to really hit the pavement with this, and I'm personally do some personal invitations. But I just want to make sure everyone understands what this is. I know it's been vague and it's been fun and it's been weird that people really are excited. What is this thing I've been putting out? Essentially, I want everyone to think of it as a Thanksgiving dinner for our community, but one in which, in that is because we are giving thanks to their support in everything. Like this community, coming from the outside a couple of years ago, the amount of support from this community is really second to none. I mean, this is special. So we want to thank the community. We're not asking for donations from the community. We're not asking them to donate prizes as giveaways. We're not asking for them to, on purpose. But I do have donations, and I'm working really hard for these from other sources so that we can have games for the kids and they can have things. Have secured some grant money because, operations, we're in the grants to give away some Love Where You Learn t-shirts and some different things. So we're really, this truly is a give back. And I've listed some things. Dulcie and Lauren are hard at work having some, food that we can grab if the community wants to come at 4:15 and leave at 4:25, that's fine. So there's a lot still going on, and there's a lot I'm still working on, but we'll really have a push for this after spring break. So please get the word out. This is 100% free. If we do know families that would like to come, we encourage the RSVP, and I will keep pushing that out. It's not good. It's like Thanksgiving. It's not, if they don't RSVP, it's okay, because you know how that goes. So they can call Steph. We've got an RSVP I've set up on the website. Just to give us an idea, because we do want, Dulcie not to have crazy amounts of food, and we don't want to run out as well. Did you have everybody have a question? I mean, there's a lot of fluidity to this still, but I don't know if anybody has any questions logistical yet. I'll discuss this more, obviously, even in April. We'll have more things on that.
Question on that.
Yeah.
What are the hours that we're going to do?
4 to 6, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we chose a Wednesday for a couple reasons. One, it's a lot easier on the staff, the Chartwell staff, because it's an earlier release, and they can get into the kitchen and they can get it done, when the students are gone. There was not a big conflict. There's always going to be a conflict with sports in the spring. It was the path of least resistance. Once we started looking at the Wednesdays, it's still impossible, to get over that. And it's an open house style, meaning, you don't have to be right there for. And if you have church, if there's something going on, please, for anybody listening, still please come. This is your meal before. Come at 4:30, come at 5, grab some food, sit down, and then you can leave. Very similar to the Thanksgiving. Everyone, and I'm going to, there's some things I'm going to be asking of the community of teachers and employees here, such as creating thank you notes to pass out, creating to give to everybody. So think Thanksgiving, but kind of a spring version of that. And I'm also taking all ideas too, like if you guys, okay, I've got this teacher who does balloon animals, and please, set up a little thing. So, and from this grant, I have a little bit of funds, and we'll talk about that later.
And this is just to confirm here at the high school, right?
Yes,
4
yes.
to 6 here at the high school.
Right, and the postcards went out, I think we sent out 20,000 mailers possibly with the grant funds. And it has on there an RSVP, it has a QR code, it has the place, the date, the time, and it's also going to go out in tomorrow's Hornet Blast. Yeah.
Sound like a snob.
Oh, no, don't, yeah.
But does everybody know what RSVP means? I mean, a lot of people that get in that card, will they understand?
Well, I don't know, I'm trying to see how it's exactly worded, but I've also put it in on Facebook, it's in the Hornet Blast, it says, please reply and let us know you're coming.
Okay.
So I'm hoping, but that's a great point. I mean, I can make sure that it says, I can make sure that it's worded multiple ways.
People today tend not to do that.
Yeah.
Well, they know what a thank you note is, because people tend to not.
Right.
and thank you.
Well, in Beech Grove, we're going to try to, make sure they, yeah. But that's a good point. I'll maybe make sure it's worded a couple different ways on that. Yeah. As this goes, ask questions. I really purposely don't want to do a whole lot about it before spring break, because spring break's 2 weeks. People are going to forget. I don't want to have them sign up for anything. It's like we're going to treat it like that. But yeah, reach out. This is the inaugural, so there's going to be mistakes, and there's going to be things I wish I'd have done differently. And but when it's like Dr. Hamrick said, when it's about the kids and it's about the families, if that's first, we can figure it out from there. Also, another plug for Teacher of the Year process. We're in that. We just are confident that we're going to have another amazing. We have incredible candidates, but we're confident that the state, we'd have another Janae Sutton, another Brooke Hamlet coming up. So that's the process. Hornet Blast, we now have a place where they can sign up. That was a great suggestion on that, Rob. So that's where I am right now.
Thanks,
Mr. Garman.
I'm going to start off with just the current job openings that are posted. I wanted just to bring your attention, a couple of those are for the 2024-25 school year. Some of those are in the process of being filled. The JROTC instructor, Andy and I have been working on that for 3 months, maybe. It's the slowest process with the federal government that I've ever seen. It's just a long, long process to get the people vetted through them, and even to connect with the right person to be able to help us with that process. But I think we're on the right trajectory now. We've at least contacted and we're making some progress. Intent to return letters, Steph will be sending those out this week to our certified staff, so that will go out. It can help us inform a little bit of what we're going to look at budget-wise next year and where we have some needs staff-wise. New donations for We Before Me Enterprises, the student-run business at the middle school. Just wanted to update that. AAA Roofing gave us $1,000, and actually I got a check yesterday from Commercial Service from Bloomington, who gave us another $1,000. I didn't add that. We'd already sent this out. So that brings us to about $25,000 in donations. So if you know a business that is interested in maybe partnering, it's a great, I can't wait to see what this is going to do in the next 3 to 5 years as it gets developed and the opportunities for our students. So if you know businesses that would be interested in partnering, we have kind of 3 levels of donations. That we have a gold, silver, and bronze. And so just have them send them our way or send them to Ryan or me. We can kind of walk them through what this is all about. It's a great opportunity for our kids. We did have our food service audit, our national school lunch program audit. That was February 6th, 7th, and 8th. That is a very intense audit, and I just wanted to congratulate Dulcie and the food service team here through Chartwell's. She said it was the best audit she'd conducted in 2023-24, so that was very encouraging that we had our ducks in a row, and I felt like the things that they did have for findings were very minor. The biggest one, and we have actually received our report, I got that yesterday, but I did want to bring your attention to one of the findings, which is our student debt. We have of our current students enrolled, we have a negative food account balance of $25,682.16, which we do have to repay if we don't collect. That is the law, so we have to do that. I wanted to reference our policy for, your policy for the corporation for outstanding food account debt, which is anything over $10. I also wanted to emphasize to you that this debt was incurred before we went CEP. So now that we are CEP, students are going to get fed no matter what, which is the beauty of CEP. We don't allow anybody to charge anything if they have a negative balance or if it would put them into a negative. These are all expenses, debt that we incurred prior to CEP when regular student lunches were served to students who didn't have a balance. So we are going to send out a couple rounds of letters. Dr. Hammock and I have talked about that, just asking people to rectify the accounts before the end of the year. And then ultimately we'll have to make a decision about collections from there. But we either have to make an attempt and ultimately we will have to pay it to the food service account if we don't collect it.
I have a question about that.
Some of these go back a ways. This is debt from all students that are currently enrolled. So you could have a senior.
I guess my question, sorry, is how long ago did we go to all CEP?
See, we went CEP, I got here in March and we went CEP that fall. So we've been CEP now, this is our second year. And we recertified last year and got a greater reimbursement rate. So we're now being reimbursed about 95%, which is huge. So,
So we probably still have some students in school that they, not the student themselves, but the parent, they still owe seasonally.
yeah, these are debts that are current students. So we probably had some that were graduated, but they are just asking us to rectify this right now in the audit. And then we did receive $70,000 in additional federal supply chain assistance money for the food service. That is the last they tell us, so we won't be getting any more of that. So that was the third of the fourth of payments. So they've all been about $70,000 roughly. We've gotten a little bit more here and there because some schools, for some reason, have not filled out the request, and so if they don't, then they divide up the money that hasn't been requested among the schools that have requested it. And it's really not a burdensome thing at all. You just have some restrictions on what you can use that money for, but Dulcie and her team have done a great job, and that has alleviated some stress on that account, which is actually very healthy right now. So that's it.
Can I get a motion to approve the employment recommendations as listed?
I'll move.
April and Beth?
That's fine, either one.
Sorry?
Either one, yeah, one or two.
Dr. Hammock?
We need to vote.
Oh, yeah, you know what, let's do that.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, now,
Super.
Dr. Hammock.
You bet. So first off, we just ask for the board's approval of our resolution on board compensation that was included in your packet. And I just wanted to ask staff, in our minutes, something that I neglected to put in the action, would you indicate that this action is retroactive to January 1, 2024? And this is a result of action that was taken by the IPS, Board of School Commissioners, which do indicate the rate at which a school board is compensated. And so it's just an adoption of the resolution that IPS board established for compensation. And this would be retroactive to January.
Can I get a motion to approve the resolution for board compensation?
I will.
Beth? Second?
I'll second.
April? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Next up, we have action regarding our school calendar. This is asking for your approval to modify the school calendar for our current school year of 23-24 and the 24-25 school year. This is to include an e-learning day for the middle school and high school, because this is the primary election day, which is May 7th, and the general election day, which is November the 5th. And we would ask that those days, because we have not satisfied the grand total for asynchronous, that these would be asynchronous learning days. I guess I should say that the e-learning day for the primary, May 7th, would be an asynchronous e-learning day.
I'll make a motion that we adjust our calendars.
I'll second.
April, Brian? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And this last action is for asking you all to approve the creation of a clearinghouse account for the Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents Officer Installation event on June the 11th, 2024. And this is just an ability for us to accept donations and then ultimately issue payment to the associated vendors.
Can I get a motion to approve the creation of a clearinghouse account for the Indiana Association of Public Schools Superintendents?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Tara? Janice? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And you are complete, right?
I am complete.
All right, Mr. Gearhart, operations.
Well, it's perpetual report. It's always at the top. I don't have to change much. As soon as we get fully staffed in transportation, we have 2 or 3 that quit. It's going to forever be a pain point for us, as it is most everyone around us. It just is right now. So I don't foresee that changing in the near future. So it will always be active. For Brian, he doesn't have to change his report at the top either. Bus drivers, bus monitors. Over spring break, we'll be addressing, if you recall, over fall break or Christmas, I can't remember which one, we did central, the condenser on the walk-in freezer, and a second condenser on the cooler. We're doing that here. We're going in order of age. So these are here 1998, 1997 respectively. We got our money's worth out of them. So we're happy with that. But it is an expensive proposition. It's $40,000 to replace them. And that's going to happen over spring break. Hornet Park, I included a picture. There are 3 small commercial grade water heaters in there for some reason. We really only need 2. 2 of the 3 right now are not functioning. They're running on 1. So if you looked at the picture, those were set in place and then they were plumbed around. So they're trapped. Atwood Plumbing is going to come in and replumb it. We'll pull all 3 out. We'll put 2 new back in, and we'll be good to go. And then forevermore, we will be able to replace a water heater without replumbing it, hopefully. It's the craziest thing. Talked to Brent about the other day. He goes, "This is the craziest thing I've ever seen." It's crazy. And then the last, I sent you live links. We are participating in a grant with the Central Indiana Educational Service Center and the Department of Justice for a Safe Schools grant. There are 4 links on there. Feel free to look through those. The top one will be a replacement to our current anonymous reporting. It's a much more robust system. and it's monitored 24 hours, unlike our current one. Rachel's Challenge is a fantastic program that I heard about at Safe Schools 10 years ago, and I thought, man, I'd like to have that, but we never could afford it. So those two are required by the grant. The second two are optional, and we decided to participate in those. So you can peruse those links and ask me any questions, but they're pretty comprehensive. That's it for me.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Oh, I forgot that, yeah. One thing before you do that. I talked to TJ last week. She's the softball board president. Totally on board, understands the purpose of this use agreement. A couple of the dates may change, but the structure of the agreement is, I think, what you're approving.
Get a motion to approve the facility use agreement for the Beechfield Middle School softball athletic field.
So moved.
Jill? Janice? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes and claims.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes and claims for February 2024.
I'll second. Both motions.
Sarah? You covered both of those, right?
Yeah, bundled.
Fundraisers, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Wait, did we just vote on minutes and claims?
Yes, that was for minutes and claims, right?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the fund appraisers.
I move we approve the fundraisers.
Jill? Second.
I'll second. April?
April? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for the new format and making sure everything's on there and all of that stuff.
Motion to approve the field trips.
I'll motion that we approve the field trips.
I'll second.
Terry? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And a motion to approve the donation.
I'll motion to approve the donations.
Gloria?
Yep.
Second.
I'll second.
Beth? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Question, could we send notes out to people who make donations?
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Committee C9.
C9 meets after us this month, and we met, so I don't have any update, because we haven't met since the last time I updated you.
Any other? I know REC didn't do anything exciting last month, so there's nothing new there.
The Parks Board, the new members were appointed by the council and the mayor in early February. So at the February Parks Board meeting, the officers were elected. So that's about it. Just getting them on board.
Board member superintendent success stories.
I did want to, again, say thank you for, hosting me on a tour of each of your buildings. I was able to go to each one in a couple weeks time frame, and just am amazed by all the things going on under the roofs of our schools, things that I don't think were present when I was going to school. At least I didn't see those things. A lot of things going on in the background, and so many great, achievements, things that have made our schools a little bit better, I think. So I appreciate you guys showing me those things and letting me know just all the successes that we have going on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the time that you spent. And
It's great.
board members, Brian is so humble, but he wrote a summary follow-up for each building visit and of the things that he noticed and the celebrations, and it was just really lovely. And we're really grateful that you took the time to do that. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
I noticed Caitlin Bowser, she's a success story because she
Yeah.
is a recent graduate
Yes.
here, maybe 2016, 2017, something like that. And now she's teaching at Ben Davis and coaching for us. So that is, I was like, why is she teaching there? But her mom explained it. I'm going to let it go for 4 more years and then talk to her again.
Mr. Carr, you've got some work to do. You've been talking? I love it.
She has some financial incentive to finish her thing there, but, you know, she could be wooed back. I'm pretty positive.
Great.
I will be at the C9 meeting on Thursday, so I won't be able to attend. So I know it will go well, and I'm excited for you all.
Thanks, Jen. Great.
And I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
April 2nd?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned at 7:55.
Thanks, everybody. Just a few items for work session tonight.